Thank you, Beatrice. Our next reader, EAMONN LOUGHMAN, is a very interesting Gaelic soul, a very unique performance artist who I've become acquainted with several months ago. The invitation is always open for him. He's always a lot of fun. Gives me great pleasure. EAMONN LOUGHMAN.
Welcome everybody to the 1 o'clock meeting of the Bearded Obviouslies. This is at 1 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States. This is a 12-step meeting. If you have these 12 steps already in your life, then please demonstrate them to others. First step, number 1. I admitted that my beard had left me powerless, and it was unknotted, and its hair mass had become completely unmanageable. Step 2, I came to believe that a power equal or greater than the Mach 5 razor could restore me to facial hygiene. A nice, smooth, transparent facial hygiene. Step 3, I made a decision to turn my face and appearance over to the care of the Mach 5 razor as I understood its, manual potential. Step 4, I made a facial search and fearless hair follicle inventory of, what else? My beard. Step 5, admitted to the Gillette Mach 5 and myself, and to the other 21st century bearded cavemen the exact stock price and value of the Gillette, Mach 5. Step 6, I was entirely ready to have the Mach 5 remove all the brush, tree stumps, ingrown hair defects from my face. 7, very important step, I humbly asked the Mach 5, this one's tough, to remove the disgusting hair in my ear. What? I'm almost done. Step 8, I made a list of all the failed razors, creams, and beards that had been snagged and trapped. I admitted this to the Mach 5 for perfect, precise liberation. Step 9, I made direct amends to soup companies and their products which were snagged in my beard, except when to do so would affect their stock. Pardon? Moving right along, everybody. We're on step 10. I continued to groom, and when I missed a rogue patch of my beard, I promptly lathered with all new frothy masses of bubbles for the Mach 5 to decimate. Step 11, very important. Saw through shaving and aftershave, conscious conduct to hold a mirror up with the Mach 5 and the power of its acts of grooming. Well, here we go. We finally got to the conclusion, step 12. I had a clean awakening. My face, as a result of these steps, has shown a new facial hygiene. Please, if you have these 12 steps, bring this demonstration to others that are suffering with these formalities of hair rogue bunching. I would like to thank you all, but before we go, I would like to just leave one more message, and it's clear that, alas, what we do in life to the Mach 5 echoes for 3 to 4 days. I would like to thank everybody at the Karpeles Museum, Hayden, Brian, and everybody else. This is a poem. The name of it is 1 to 10. One breath to keep 2 ideas alive for 3 days on the 4th of July. 5 fires burnt down 6 houses on 7th Avenue. 8 firefighters were injured in my novel. The 9th chapter of my novel is due out on the 10th of yesterday. Mach 5.
Thank you, Eamon. I must say, not making comparisons, but you do remind me of an outrageousness of a high school friend of mine, Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman and I were in the same 9th grade homeroom together, and he used to absolutely freak the teacher out by bringing in the Daily News when the prescribed reading was either the Herald Tribune or the New York Times. And then I remember being in 11th grade English class with him. And I was rocking and rolling that evening, you know, that part of my life, and coming in literally at 5 o'clock in the morning and then going to school. So I would shower, put my school clothes on, set the alarm. My parents were really magnanimous about it. They would let me go as late as I possibly could and drive one of the cars to school. They would pick it up in a couple of hours before it would get ticketed so I could get the maximum addition of sleep. Came homeroom, and second period, I had study hall. And I knew I was going to go up to the library because the desks were higher and I could pile up the books and I could sleep. And the librarian seemed to like me. He said, shh, shh, he's composing, he's composing. Shh. So that I looked forward to. But first class was English. So we had 7 rows and 7 seats back. And here I am at the window over here in the 6th chair, and here is Andy in the 2nd row in the 7th seat. And I would sit with my elbow on the desk like this, with my chin in my hand and my pinky pushing my upper eyelid, and as I nodded out, my eye was still open, so it didn't seem that I was sleeping, though I was sleeping. And inevitably, the teacher would wake me up through the caused exacerbation of a situation that she readily did and obviously relished. She would ask a question, and all the sycophants were, oh, and she'd go, Andy? And Andy would turn in, he'd go, I don't know. Why don't you know? And my head would hit the table and the whole thing, and I would turn to Andy like this, and he would look at me and turn into Lotka, who became his character all those years later for Taxi. Andy would disappear for a week when an Elvis movie came in. It was very interesting, it was very surreal. But Eamon, you reminded me of that, thank you. That is a great time trip.